What if I told you that the people responsible for making football fair were secretly betting on the games they were controlling? 371 referees, 152 of them betting on matches they personally refereed. One man, 18,227 bets. This is the story of how Turkey's entire football system was secretly rotten from the inside, and nobody knew for years. First, let's understand what a football referee actually controls. One wrong call can change the result of an entire match. A penalty here, a red card there. The referee has more power than anyone on that pitch. Now imagine that same referee had money riding on the result. In Turkey, referees are paid around 3,000 to 5,000 euros per match. Not bad. But some of them wanted more, much more. The Turkish Football Federation, the TFF, is supposed to monitor all of this. Their job is to make sure the game is clean. But for years, they weren't looking hard enough. February 2025, a casino in northern Cyprus. A man walks in, and someone recognizes him. That man was a FIFA-listed Turkish referee, one of the most trusted officials in the country. He resigned immediately, but the damage was done. People started asking questions, and then other referees started talking, filing complaints, saying they had been pressured, told which teams to favor, threatened. The TFF had no choice. In September 2025, they launched the biggest internal audit in Turkish football history. 571 active professional referees. Every single one of them investigated. The investigators checked bank records, phone records, betting accounts, every transaction, every click. The results were shocking. 371 out of 571 referees had registered betting accounts. That's 65% of all active referees in Turkey. 2 out of every 3. But it gets worse. 152 of those referees weren't just betting on football. They were betting on matches they were assigned to referee themselves. Think about that. The man blowing the whistle on the field was also betting on the outcome of that exact game. And the scale of the betting was insane. In total, these referees placed over 1.2 million bets. One referee alone placed 18,227 bets. A bet every single day for 50 years. Now, how did they fix the matches? Let's talk about what actually happened on the pitch. A referee places a bet, over 3.5 goals in the match. Then, he shows up to referee that very match. To make his bet win, he awards penalty kicks that should never have been given. He ignores offsides. He adds injury time when a goal is needed. Sometimes it was simpler. Bet on a red card, then find a reason to send someone off. The fans in the stadiums had no idea. They were screaming at the referee, not knowing the referee was the one profiting from their anger. It wasn't just referees. Investigators found something else. Players were involved too. A Galatasaray player, one of the biggest clubs in Turkey, was found betting against his own team. His own team. In total, 1,024 players were put under investigation. The entire league was corrupt. Then came the arrests. October 2025. Turkish police launched simultaneous raids across 10 provinces, all at the same time. The first wave, 8 people arrested. Referees, betting coordinators, people who connected them to the gambling networks. Second wave, 32 more. The network was bigger than anyone expected. Third wave, 46 arrested. By the end, 86 people total in custody. And then, the name that shocked everyone, Ahmet Çakar. Ahmet Çakar is not just any referee. He was one of Turkey's most famous FIFA-listed officials. A man who spent 20 years in elite football. After retiring, he became one of the loudest voices on Turkish football TV, pointing fingers at referees, criticizing match decisions. He was calling out corruption, while being corrupt himself. When police knocked on his door, Turkey couldn't believe it. This was the man millions trusted to tell them the truth about football. The TFF banned 44 referees immediately. 44 officials removed from football in a single day. Turkey had to cancel upcoming match weeks. There weren't enough clean referees left to run the games. FIFA and UEFA launched their own parallel investigations. Turkey was now under international football law. Turkish clubs were warned. If the league cannot guarantee clean officiating, European competition could be suspended. The president of the TFF stepped down. Under this much pressure, there was no other choice. An emergency crisis committee was formed. New referee training programs announced. Real-time match monitoring systems introduced. But the question everyone was asking was, how long had this been going on? Years? Decades? How many results were fake? Turkish fans began looking back at penalties that never should have been, at red cards that changed seasons, at titles won and lost because if 371 referees were betting and 152 were betting on their own matches. For how long had the game been a lie? One man, 18,227 bets, placed by a referee. On the sport he was paid to protect, 371 referees, 1.2 million bets, 86 arrests, and a league that had to stop and ask itself, was any of it real? This is what happens when the people running the game are also betting on it. Subscribe. The next story is even bigger.